Good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're here. We're getting things set up on this end. All right, I just dropped in the link to the handout in the chat for everybody. And we will get things going here. I got to get our transcript set up and ready to go. Hope you are all doing well, and this week has started off nicely for you. Pardon me just for a minute while I get the transcript set up. When you log in, pop over to the chat and say hi. Tell us where you're logging in from. I am getting the transcript set up now as we speak. We'll get started about 3 minutes after, as usual. And our transcripts are up and running, it appears. Yay. All right, there they are. Awesome. All right, so let me get my screen shared. All right. So you should be seeing my screen with the plugin Roundup logo thereupon. Also, you can download the handout at the link I just dropped in the chat. I truly wish we had a way to pin chats in a Zoom webinar, but alas, we do not. You would think that Zoom would make that feature available, but it isn't. So, by the way, tomorrow is the Best of Plugin Roundup. If you have not yet signed up for that one, be sure you do. Here is the link. That's the best of January through June. So all the plugins that you all voted for since the first of the year, we'll have a nice little roundup of those, the best of the best. Those are always fun. Always seems like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. It happens a lot during those webinars. So best of the best, 2 or 3 from each month of the year so far. If you want the, oh, you know what I forgot to do is, oh, that's all right. I forgot to pause the recording as we got started here. So you should be seeing the handout right there, ready to go. Foghorn was one of the best. Foghorn and Elevator. Oh, yeah. Foghorn was fabulous. So if you're just joining us in Zoom, happy Tuesday. Hope your week has started off well. Hope you had a nice weekend last weekend. The link for the handout, which you are seeing on your screen, is coming. It is. Uh-oh. There. So there you go. We will be starting in about 4 minutes from now. Good to see everybody here. Oh, is Foghorn gone? Oh, that is a real shame. That is terrible. No, it sure isn't. No, it's not even Googleable. Googleable. That's hard to say. No, it's gone. So for those of, is it in GitHub? Perhaps. So for those of you wondering about this whole foghorn discussion that we're having, one of the early days of plugin roundups, back in the earlier days of WordPress, there were a lot of just fun plugins that developers would drop in the repository. Now, I think the whole WordPress ecosystem has become a lot more serious, which is, to be expected. WordPress has come of age, but there were a lot of fun little plugins. Jan, let's see. Is that it? Very possible that is it. Let's see. No, that's not it. Unfortunately. Foghorn in that is the author, is the author's name, not the name of the plugin, unfortunately. Yeah, so what Foghorn would do is this great little joke plugin that when you log into WordPress, it would play this wah noise. It would just scare the bejeepers out of whoever was logging in. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. There were a lot of plugins like that back in the early days that were just fun. We don't have nearly as many of those anymore. People have, real work to do and stuff. Oh, goodness. So if you're just joining us in Zoom, make sure you head over to the chat and make sure you head over to the chat and say hi. Tell us where you're logging in from. It's good to see everybody popping in here. About a minute to go before we get started. The handout link is in the chat. And by the way, once we get started, if one of you kind folks would mind just kind of copying that link for anybody that comes in late and asks for it, it's kind of hard for me while presenting to drop in that link. That's just mighty helpful to me. I appreciate that. So we have a pretty good list today. By the way, the fun thing about that Foghorn plugin was it was really easy just to go into the plugin directory and replace the MP3 file that was the Foghorn sound with anything you wanted. So somebody in our membership, I think I left a challenge at the end of that month of who can use this in the most creative way. And somebody was doing a website, as I recall, it was like for a train museum. Anybody remember this or who that was? If that was you, say so in the chat, because I can't remember who it was. But what they did was they replaced the foghorn sound with the sound of a locomotive horn. And so in the train museum, you'd log in and it would play a train horn, which I thought was just super cool. What a great idea. All right, so it is 3 minutes after, so let me pause for a moment to allow a good place to clip this video for posterity. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the June 2002 Plugin Roundup here on iThemes Training. My name is Nathan Ingram. I am the host here at iThemes Training, and it's the Plugin Roundup. Go figure. How about that? First Tuesday of each month, we take a look at the plugins that have been recently added to or updated in the WordPress plugin directory. Almost always, these are free plugins, and we just like to find some interesting things and draw some attention to them because there's some really fun work by developers that are being added to the plugin directory, and you might not know about it. So again, as always, with the plugins in the Roundup, we haven't extensively tested these. We've kind of taken a look at them briefly and thought they were kind of cool. So you'll want to experiment with these and install them if it solves a problem for you. That's fantastic. But just know, I'm not saying these are like Nathan certified plugins I would use on every site necessarily, but many of them solve great problems this time. They're safe as a plugin in the WordPress directory can be. I mean, any plugin is potentially vulnerable, right? Even premium plugins. So, these are offered to you as just fun things to take a look at. So if you are just joining us in Zoom, here's the last time I'm going to paste the link. Here is the handout for today. That is the PDF you are looking at on my screen currently. And let's jump in with our first one, which is called Media Folders Lite. Now, over the years on the Plugin Roundup, we have done a number of plugins that make the management of your media library in folders easier. And I'm trying to think of some of those. There was one called Filebird, I think that's one of the ones we really liked, and that was a visual folder system where you could drag and drop your images into folders. But it was real. Happy Files. Thank you, Paul. That was another one. Happy Files. I think they removed the free version of that one though, and it's just a paid plugin now. But it was a really good one. You could drag your files around and do some things. So this one though is a little different than that. Because it actually creates a folder in your uploads directory. So I just realized I forgot to have open an FTP to WP Nathan. So let me get that going, and we'll take a look at Media Folders Lite. So let's activate our plugin. So this is going to create folders in the file structure, which actually affects the URL of the image. So, some people think that help with SEO. It might, who knows? But if you actually want the URL to reflect the file structure of these folders, this is the only thing I've seen that does that. So settings and media is where the settings for this lives. So let's go to media. And down here at the bottom, look, we have some folders defined. So let's do television, movies, whatever. You can just stack folder names one at a time here. And now here's the downside of this plugin. Currently, you cannot add pre-existing images to folders, which I realize is probably a deal breaker for most of us. But if you start a site with this plugin, it works great. And potentially, this could be a feature that's coming in the free, or it's called Media Folders Lite. So maybe there's a paid plugin coming that would allow you to add, like install it on a site and then sort your things after. But if you're building a site that's going to have a big media library, and you can install this from the beginning and it works great. So what I'm going to do, let's just find a, keeping in theme with our TV themed website here on WP Nathan. What was your favorite like 80s sitcom? Somebody in the chat. Let me get that, and we'll Google a picture of it. Give me a break. What a great show that was. Nell Carter. You gotta love that one. How many of you remember Give Me a Break? That was a great show. All right, so Give Me a Break. There we go. Let's find. Okay, is that the cast? That is the cast. Let's find one with. Okay, well, we'll just grab this one. Man, is that an 80s hairstyle, or is that an 80s hairstyle? So let me just grab that image. Okay, there it is. And I'm going to add a new image here. And notice here at the top, we can select from our folders. And I'm going to upload the image. You do have to select it as you're uploading. But as we go into this now, look what has happened on the, where is my window? Here it is. Okay, so if I, whoops, I'm gonna close that. If I take a look at the file structure now of WP Nathan in my WP content, and I've changed the media folder here, you will notice that there is now a folder, scrolling. There's one for movies that I just added, and there's one for television. And in it, you will find this folder we just uploaded, this Give Me a Break, right? So if we take a look at this image in the file URL, if I copy and paste that, it's right there. So the name of the folder is in the URL of the image. So if that's what you're looking for, this is the only plugin I've ever seen that does it. It's pretty interesting. It is Media Folders Lite. You do need to start with a clean site for this one to work well, but maybe they'll make an adjustment to that later, either in a paid plugin or a free one. So any questions or comments about that one? That is Media Folders Lite. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Oh, Deb, that's a great question. So what happens if you delete the plugin? Since it's actually creating folders, if you delete the plugin, everything stays the same. You just don't have the option to upload to a folder anymore. So it's pretty cool. Now, so like WordPress knows this image is located at this URL that has the folder name in it. And so removing the plugin doesn't change any of that. Can you change the folder of the plugin after it's been uploaded? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't see a way to do that. No, I don't see a way to do that. So the little bit of restrictive here. But this is a brand new plugin. It's just been added. So if this is the kind of functionality you're after, watch it, see what happens. Make those change requests on the support area of this plugin. Give the author some ideas. Maybe directly in the media library. I don't think so. There's not really a way to, you don't really have any UI here. No. You can also sort by folders here, which is kind of nice. Okay, let's move on down to the next one, which is Better WP Admin Bar. Now, this is, again, another kind of plugin that we've done a lot of over the years here on iThemes Training, which is doing something with the admin bar. How many of you find the admin bar gets in your way if you're doing something on the front of the site? A lot of times this will happen if you're doing something with absolute positioning, or maybe there's like a bar across the top of the screen that's like a screen that's an announcement bar or whatever. The admin bar can get in your way, right? And we've done a lot of different plugins that do something with the admin bar. Like CM is saying, we use it. I remember when they added the admin bar to WordPress. Anybody remember that? It was like 3.1 or some crazy long time ago version of WordPress. And we all hated it. And now I can't live without it. So anyway, this I think is one of my favorite ways to deal with the admin bar, to be honest. I think it's pretty cool. So Better WP Admin Bar. Let's activate that. And while I'm here, let me just deactivate the media folders Lite. Okay, so that plugin is active. And now look, it's gone. Oh, look, there's a little teeny tiny little, and I mouse over up. There it is. Look at that. So it hides it, but with a transparent tab. So it's out of the way. It's not going to affect any of my absolute positioning things. And I can mouse over and there it is. So that is a simple little plugin that I think does a great job at hiding the admin bar on those sites where it makes sense, but still making it super easy to get to. Like there's some plugins I've seen that when you mouse up to this area, the bar pops down, but that's like, maybe I just want to mouse up, but here you actually have to hit that little transparent tab to pull it down. So anyway, that is Better WP Admin Bar. Any questions or comments on that one? What about mobile? That is an excellent question. And I don't know. So let's just see, shall we? Oh, wait, I know what we can do. This is an excellent opportunity for me to use Blisk, which I just bought on an AppSumo deal, and I like it. I'm going to have to log in, though. So let me get logged in on this browser. So we can see the admin bar. All right. So let's look at, shall we say, how about an iPhone 13? There it is right there. So you just touch it. You touch the, tap the tab and it works. Now this is, again, with Blisk, it's just emulating the viewport. If there's anything that is specifically mobile about this plugin, it might change. You'd probably want to test it on an actual device. My guess, though, this is a simple plugin and it's going to work just like this. So there it is. All right, that is Better WP Admin Bar. Any other questions or comments on that? Can you change the transparency of the tab? I doubt it. I don't think there's any settings for this plugin. Yeah, I don't think there's any settings at all for this plugin. No, it is what it is. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is a very important, it's a plugin that addresses a very important issue, and it's called Local Google Fonts by Everpress. So as you can imagine, this is addressing the very real issue of Google fonts being loaded locally. So in our last news roundup, I think it was the last one, there was a fine in the EU about what country, does anybody remember what country that was? It was a European country that was fining a website ridiculous amounts of money because it was using Google fonts and therefore violating the GDPR or one of the local privacy laws. I forget. Anyway, the point is, if you are pulling a Google font into your website, like, selecting the Google font from the list of fonts and so forth, that is actually, it's importing. You're having to download the font from Google every time the site is loaded, and therefore your users are, your user's IP address and other potentially identifiable information is being submitted to Google as part of that. So if you're trying to make the site more private, this is a font that's going to help that. And it is local Google fonts by Everpress. So let me just activate this. Also, by the way, it should speed, unless you're on a really bad hosting, this should speed up the delivery of the font because it's going to be coming right from your web server rather than having to pull in from Google. There it is, local Google fonts. And let's see, where is the setting for that? I always do this. I've forgotten where I saw the settings. Google Fonts right there. Settings in Google Fonts. All right, so I have no Google Fonts. Oh, because hang on. Because I'm using Cadence and I already have this selected in Cadence, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. Let's see. Header. No, not header. General. Performance. No, it's not turned on. Well, that's interesting. Why isn't it picking up? Oh, there it is. Okay. That was really odd. Okay, so this, maybe I just had to hard refresh. So right here, it's showing, okay, these are the fonts that are the Google fonts that are being used by this site. So it is being served from Google servers. Boom, boom. I can click host locally, done, right? So right now it's downloading that font family from Google. You can actually see what's being downloaded, and I can do this one as well. And now, although we are no longer phoning home to Google about loading of the fonts, everything's being loaded locally from the site. If you want to get rid of it, you just remove all stored data, and you're back to normal. So we'll reload the site. Hard refresh. Now it's still not. I don't know. It doesn't like this for some reason. That's interesting. Now, if you are a Cadence user, you already have this, okay? So if your theme is Cadence, all you have to do is go in Cadence to General, Performance, and load Google Fonts locally. Done. Built in, already done. Now, as Ben was developing Cadence, he did this as a performance feature because as long as you're on decent hosting, this is going to speed up the loading of your website. But it also removes all of the privacy issues surrounding Google Fonts because it pulls everything in locally and everything is just being loaded out. So to deal with this font issue, here's a great plugin if you're not using Cadence. And if you are, no need to install a plugin. Just do this right here. Any other questions or comments on this one? Yeah, Melanie, great point. If you're using, say, Adobe Typekit fonts or other custom fonts that are not part of not a Google font, for example, Cadence does have an add-on that supports custom fonts where you can upload the WAFs or the whatever's the files. Yeah. Any other questions, comments on this? Good stuff. So this is one of those issues that we need to be aware of as web developers. Google Fonts. Never a dull moment. Remember when building websites used to be easy? Now we have to know all these other things. Okay, so scrolling on down, let's take up the next one here, which is add link to copied text. This is pretty much the on-the-nose plugin name winner. Guess what this one does? Have you ever seen a site where when you copy text, it appends a little, attribution link at the, at the end of that text, that's what this does. So if you have a website that might be frequently quoted, or you're supplying information that, people might copy and paste, this is a plugin that's going to automatically append whatever you want to say at the end of the copied text. So let me just show you how this works. Let's activate the plugin, which, as we've all learned the hard way, is really the first step to getting a plugin to work on your site. So add link to copied text. Now let's go to settings right here. So you can do text before the link. So, let's just say this: stolen from wpnathan.com, and put a space like that. And we could say I could only link to the homepage, or the default is that it's going to link to the page from which the text is copied. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Let's go to a blog post. And let's copy this. Copy. And now let's take a look at, that's what pasted. Look at that. So you can say whatever you want it to say. It's going to automatically link the URL from which the text was copied. And there it is. Pretty cool. So for those of you who, have a site that's information heavy and you want to make sure attribution is correct, there you go. Neat stuff, right? Very simple plugin. Add link on copied text. Questions or comments on this one? Okay. Moving down to a WooCommerce plugin. So this one is interesting. It has a couple of shortfalls, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is a really helpful plugin if, for example, you have a product or maybe a particular category of products that like you have to buy a minimum number, or they have to be purchased in sets, like a set of 3. And like, you can't just purchase one, it has to be 3, or something like that. So that does come up from time to time. It's a bit of a niche application, but this is a great plugin that solves that problem. So it is called Product Quantity Dropdown for WooCommerce. And let's get that one active. Product quantity dropdown for WooCommerce. All right, so let's go right here to the settings. And notice, first of all, how this can be applied. First, this is going to apply to all products, period. Or we can say we want to do a specific product. So it could be a specific product like downloadable kitten. So it's only going to work on that one, or I could stack up multiple products here. I can't remember. I think Scooby Snacks is a product. Yeah. So see, we can stack up multiple products here, or we can say apply this to every product in the category exclusive, for example, or we could set a tag. So any product with this tag is going to have this drop down on it, right? So we can decide how we want that. I'm just going to, we're just going to make it apply to the downloadable kittens product here. All right. So where do we want it to be? We're going to say before the cart. The minimum quantity for this, we can set to be like, let's just say for some reason, these have to be purchased in blocks of 5. Okay. So the most you can purchase is 20, and we're going to make these done at 5 at a time, right? So minimum is 5, maximum 20 at 5 steps. And let's save this and go jump into the store, and you'll see how this works. So there's our downloadable kittens. Look, set for 5, and look at that. See how that works? Isn't that interesting? So if you need to be able to restrict how many or the steps involved or whatever of a particular product, like we could say, all right, these are going to be available. You have to purchase, like these come in a pair, or for whatever reason, minimum quantity 2, maximum 20 with a set 2 for a step. Then you get this range, right? And so it's the free form quantity field is gone. And you can only select from a drop down. So there you go. If you're doing WooCommerce stuff, this could be helpful. Excuse me. All right. Any questions or comments on this one? This is quantity dropdown for WooCommerce. All right, moving on down to the next one. So again, here's another kind of plugin we've done a few of. This one is interesting to me because of one of the elements of the user interface. So in the past, we've done plugins that what they do is they create a table of contents at the top of a post or page or whatever based on the heading structure of that post. So you have a series of H2s, those become links at the top. If there are H3s nested under those S2s, then it becomes like an indented hierarchical type list, table of contents at the top of the post, and it's generated automatically, right? So it's a super helpful way if you have detailed articles with lots of headings and so forth. It's a nice way to navigate those longer posts. Now, what this plugin does, it's a little different from the others, is that it adds, once you scroll down and the big menu at the top gets out of view, it adds a little tab that pops over with a tray that when you mouse over it, it slides in your navigation. So before, you'd have to scroll back to the top and find your navigation, which then scrolls you down. So let me show you how this works. It's a pretty cool plugin. So top table of contents. Let's activate this. And we have some settings here. Now, again, we have a top level menu, which quite frankly doesn't need to exist, but they're just tabs on the same page, but that's one of my pet peeves. So we want to do this. Let's just say this is going to be just for posts. You can select which post types it applies to. You can set a title for, what appears above this table of contents. You can actually turn the title off if you want as well. You have all your colors and paddings and borders and all those settings are here. You can decide how the headings look within the table of contents. You got a lot of settings there. Same for subheadings. Oh, this is actually a premium feature. And there are some premium themes, more of which are available in the pro version. So let's just leave it as is. And let's go to a post. I actually don't know if we have any headings in some of these. We do not. Let's see if I've got some pages. This one has some. Okay, so let's apply this also to pages. So this page should now have a table of contents. Yes. All right, so here's our table of contents that was automatically generated from these headings that are left over from apparently some block add-on that I demonstrated. So you click it and it scrolls down like you'd expect. That's pretty cool, right? Now, the neat thing is you can, let's see, general. Christina, they have a vertical list. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to here. I thought this added. Oh, you know what? Here's the demo. All right, here we go. Yeah, so as you scroll down the page, see what happens? It pops over right there. And so you can scroll through the side. Or you could actually set up like a post template using Cadence, or if you're using a like a page builder, like Beaver Builder or whatever, you could create like a column, and just with a short code, you can drop in this table of contents as well. So it just stays right there on the vertical side. But this is pretty nice. It's this tray that I really like about this plugin. Pretty cool stuff. The question is, how does it behave on mobile? Good question. Let's pull it over into Blisk. Oh, apparently I haven't licensed this one. That's interesting. I thought I did. What the heck? Well, I guess I can't show it on that one. I didn't license my software. Oops. All right, so here it is on mobile. Works just the same. Slides in. Pretty cool. Stacy says, I need something like that only for categories and posts. Like just to show a list of categories on the side in the sidebar. Yeah, Jan, easy table of contents was the last one of these that we did. That's right. And I'm using that on the side as well. It's great. It just doesn't have the little tray. Yeah. All right. So that is top table of contents by Boom Devs. Any other questions or comments on that one? Okay. Scrolling down to the next one. This is another simple plugin that I think is pretty effective. It is called Visual User Description Editor. Now, if you have any sort of a content-rich site, particularly a blog or something like that, a newspaper, magazine type site, where the author is important, there's been a lot of author box type plugins that are in use out there, and we've shown some of those. Even the new full site editing and a lot of the cadence blocks will allow you to create a nice little author box on your posts. However, the author description, the author bio, is just it's a text area. It's not a rich text WYSIWYG type editor. And that's what this does. So essentially what this is going to do is on the user profile page where there's simply the box that gives the spot for the author bio, this is going to add in a tiny MCE visual editor right there where you can do bold and italic and headings and lists and all the things that tiny MCE allows you to do. So let's go in and activate this plugin, and I think you'll find it to be pretty cool. Visual user description editor. So there is that. We will activate it. And if I go look at my profile here, I now have right there in the biographical information, there it is. It is now a tiny MCE window, whereas before it was just a box. So this is core WordPress where it's just text, and the visual user description editor gives me this nice visual area where I can, for example, even add a link if I want to, right? So yeah, this is kind of a no-brainer. If you have a site that uses author information somewhere, I don't know why you wouldn't use this. And it's just a simple Lite plugin. Manu is asking about like social media profiles. So Core has some of those. Let's see. It used to anyway. They removed a lot of those, didn't they? Yeah, you have to you'd need something that would extend the user profile. So currently, no, there may be a plugin that does that, Manu. If I were going to do that on a site, I would use something like Metabox or Pods to add custom fields to the user account. ACF can do that as well. Yep. Paul, if you had HTML in the original and turn it on, does it pick it up? A valid question. Let's see. Let's go down here to our, there it is. And let's just wrap iThemes training with a strong tag. And see what happens. So profile updated. There's my strong tag. I'm going to guess it's going to work. Activate. And refresh. Look at that. Isn't that spiffy? So yes, it pulls in the HTML. Nifty, nifty. All right, great question, Paul. Any other questions about this one? Visual user description editor. Can you use this on social? Yeah, so Manu, if you were going to say Twitter, if I wanted to highlight that and put in my Twitter URL, I could do that. Sure. Maybe make that link to an external window. Boom. Yep. There it is. Totally works. All right. Anybody else on this one? Manu, when posting, I'm not sure what you're asking, Manu. Are you saying posting, like when you make a post, can you share that on Facebook? It like automatically? Oh, okay. That's a completely different type of plugin. There are some out there, but generally the best practice is to directly post from the social media platform. Most social media, although there are things like Jetpack and other plugins that will allow you to automatically, when you post a WordPress post, it will push it out to a social media platform. A while ago, social media platforms started deprioritizing posts that were added that way. They want you to log into Facebook and post the URL directly. And so you don't get, if you automatically post, you don't get, the post won't get seen as much as if you post manually. Okay, moving down to the next one is a plugin called Posts Visitors. Posts Visitors. Now, this is a very simple, I'll just say, it takes your analytics back to 1999. So how many of you are around and you remember the old-timey post hit counter at the bottom of your screen? Like there was that, like the odometer scrolling thing. It's not quite that bad, right? But it's a simple number. And so why would I ever want to do this? Well, maybe you don't, you have some privacy concerns or whatever, or you want to make it super easy for your client to just see how many times a post has been viewed. This is going to do that. And it's just so simple to use. Let's go into plugins. Doug is saying he still has clients that ask for that. Yeah. So post visitors, let's just activate that. And then let's go look at our posts. So look right there. There's now a column in the post list that shows a number. And yes, Sherry's saying you can do this with Google Data Studio. Absolutely. You can do like I do with client sites and put the executive summary of Google Analytics with a dashboard widget in there. Totally do that. Some clients just show me how many times this post has been seen, right? And yes, it is visible on the site. So right here, the We're Moving On Up post, if I go there, right down here at the bottom, posts visitors 1, and we'd need to change some settings there, but right there. So it does post it right there on the bottom. Yes, you have control over where and how this is seen. Let's see, where is it actually? It does create a top level menu, but I forgot where it is. Let's see here. Oh, right there. Post visitors. I'm blind today. Okay, so where do you want it to be? You can choose. Let's see. Oh, this only, by the way, it only works for posts. Does not work for custom post types, only posts. Likely that would be an easy feature to add or request the addition of. Sherry is saying, can you hide the public view count and only show in the admin? Yes, probably. If you say manual, then you would use the post visitor shortcode. So if I save this as manual, it's not going to show on the front end until I put a shortcode out there to display it. Now, yeah, I think that answers your question. But then it would still show up back here on the back end. Yeah, Christine. So it's all posts. Exactly. Visitors count. And this is not sortable. You could do something like you could add a plugin like admin columns and make this sortable, but by default, it's not sortable. Again, that's a simple thing the developer could add with a few lines of code. That'd be a great feature request for the developer if you like this. So super simple, right? But, do I want, is that what, if you're after, you know that. The other thing is right here on the dashboard, it gives you right there your list of posts and how many visitors they got. So there's a dashboard widget as well. So when they log in, they can see it. So super simple analytics, no privacy concerns. This is literally an increment in the database, like it's a post meta field. Every time it's viewed, it's going to increment it by 1. It's not going to make your database huge. There's no privacy issues whatsoever. All right, any other questions on this one? Posts, visitors. Fun stuff. Okie dokie, scrolling on down the list to the next one called image filters. Now we've done some plugins like this before, and where like you can add a gradient overlay to your images and those sorts of things. And those overlays were dependent upon the plugin being active and some other things. It didn't actually affect the image itself. This one actually rewrites the image. So it's a separate standalone image in the media library. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So let's go activate image filters. And just so let's deactivate a bunch of these plugins so we don't have a collision that is unexpected, as can sometimes happen here on the plugin Roundup. All right, let's deactivate those. And activate image filters. There it is. Okay, so we will go to our little test page that we have set up here. All right, so this is actually, let me remove this, whatever that what used to be. So this is a block. It only works with a block editor. So if we go to image filters, okay, let's find an image in the media library. So let's pick one. Let's just do our give me a break image that we just did there. Okay, there it is. And look, we've got these pre-configured filters. There's your really 70s looking Instamatic type filter. Look at that. Or our oversaturated filter. All these filters it's not really showing up well in this. Let me do another image. The distinction between those filters isn't really showing up well in that one. Let's do a kitty cat. Now we can really see the difference because there's so many colors in that other picture. Look at that. Really nice. So you could actually set up all your images this way. Let's just make this one Forenza. So we'll click that. And now it's applied. But look at what has happened in the media library. A new image has been created with the filter applied. So I can deactivate this plugin, whatever, the image stays there. I can download this image directly. This plugin has actually applied a filter and saved a whole new image. So this is a little different than some of these other image overlays that we've used in the past, where the image itself hasn't actually changed. It's just a CSS overlay that's been applied to it. But this one actually rewrites the image, which is pretty cool, I think. Paul, can you fork this and apply your own brand colors? I mean, sure, why not? I would imagine if you get into the code of the plugin, it's just a bunch of CSS gradients that are they're being applied to the image and it's being written out. Interesting. Yes, Manu, yes. So Cadence allows you to change some things like this. It's using CSS though to make an image grayscale or not or whatever. Barbara, is there one that's not? Hi, Barb. Is there one that's not made for the block editor? No, this is a block, unfortunately. Everything's going to the block editor. As I mentioned in previous webinars lately, we've moved to block editor for all of our blog for posts. It's working really well. Still not to the point of using block editor for full site design yet in our agency world. It'd be great for, simpler site. We still struggle with that just a little bit in some places. But in the blog post especially, it's just super easy. CM, yes, you create the image, then use it anywhere. That's the point of this. Yeah, so good stuff. Image filters. Any other questions or comments on this one? All right. Let us move down the list to the next one. Blockplayer by Gutenberg. Here's another block. So this is a video block. Now, Cadence has a nice video block. The core has a nice, whoops, I shouldn't have done that. The core WordPress has a nice video block. Let me show you some of the things this will do. So first of all, let me show you the Cadence video block. So Cadence has right here a video pop-up, which is super helpful, where, let me just grab, we have a video. It happens to be a Rickroll video that when in use, the video pop-up block will let you, put an image on it. And then the video pops up. So this is the Cadence block. There we go. But what's different about this one, and again, it's just how do you want to display your blocks on your website or your videos on the site? This one just does things a little bit differently. So let me grab the, before using a plugin, one must activate the plugin. That's my little bit of advice for you today. Very helpful. Okay, trying again now. Trying again. New block. Okay, video. Which one is the video? Video press. I think it's video press, right? No. Video player. This is it. Okay. So look at all the options we have here. Okay. So we want to play from a media library. We can do that. We also have the option of YouTube, Vimeo, or whatever the heck this is. What is that? Is that Twitch? Yeah, Twitch. That's a pro version feature though, but like we can pull in a Vimeo video. Like there's something there. We'll just use that one for now. So you have the ability to change out the thumbnail, the poster image. You have the ability to change the player width and height. Is it going to loop, mute, autoplay, all those things, right? What do the controls look like? Full screen, volume control, off or on, whatever. Let's just grab our own video so we have some control over how it's seen. Poster image, there we go. So we can change, all of the things about the player itself. We can change the color involved. That's all, actually all those are pro features. We do have the ability to put a border radius on it, which is kind of cool. Like a 20 pixel border. Look at that. That's kind of nice. I like that a lot. So if we update this, look at that. It's a nice, got download. All these toggles are here under, the control. So a lot of control. It's great if you want the video to actually play on the page rather than popping up. Totally up to you. Blockplayer by Gutenberg in the free version. Very powerful, very light plugin. Pretty neat stuff. Questions in the chat. Manu, can you place a different source than YouTube Vimeo with an external link? It doesn't appear so. No, it either has to be in the media library. YouTube, Vimeo, and Twitch is a paid feature, but there's no just drop in a URL option to play a video. John, so are you suggesting to host videos on your site versus having them on Vimeo? Absolutely not. I simply use that video here for convenience as a best practice. You want, a web server is not specifically designed to be a video platform, a video delivery platform. You want to use a platform that's designed for that, like YouTube or Vimeo. So for us, like on the agency side, we put everything in a Vimeo account, whether it's background video, if we ever use that, whether it's, customer videos, product video, all that should, best practice should be in a Vimeo or a YouTube account. Do you have speed issues? Sherry is asking. Not really, because those platforms are designed to deliver video, and they're typically even going to be a little faster than your web server. So yeah, great questions. Ben, so this has extra control over Vimeo appearance. Yeah, so you get all that with this block, all those features there. Yep. Now, I would say, yeah, because it's using its own controls here. Any other questions or comments about this one? Blockplayer. John, so what is the case for using it? I mean, if you want to show a video on a page. Yeah. I think, John, what you're asking is, why would I use this instead of just dropping in like a Vimeo link so that it embeds on the page? And the answer to that is just the embed or standard block editor video block doesn't give you the granular control that this does in how it displays. Yep. All right. Anybody else on this one before we move to the next one? This is kind of the month of simpler plugins that do cool things. Okay. Next one is just another one of those types of plugins. We've done some like this before, but this one is really cool. This is called Easy Posts Order. So here is the situation. Have you ever, for example, created let's just say it's like a team custom post type, and it's got all your staff members of your client's team there, right? Or all the employees or whatever. And you've got them all in there, and then, but they don't want the team page sorted by alphabetical order or by last name or whatever. They want like the CEO and the CTO and all those people, and then everybody else, right? How do you do that? And there's ways you can create a sort order field and do it like that. It's a little kludgy though. Like if you add a team member, then you got to go change things. It's a little kind of, difficult. So what this does is it actually gives you the ability to drag and drop your posts in the post list, and that becomes the order on which they display on the front end if you select the right thing in the query. So let me show you how this might work. Let us first activate the plugin, because that's what you have to do. Plugins. All right, so we want Easy Posts Order. Okay, and just as a demo, I'm going to go in here to our summaries. Now, notice what I've got here. I have 3, and the question is, does it work with custom post types? Absolutely. And whether, Heather, whether you're using custom post type UI or any other custom post type, this is a custom post type. It's created by pods, but the creator, I mean, you could use code to create your custom post type. That doesn't matter. So, we can use, could you do WooCommerce products? Absolutely. Same thing. So we can drag and drop however we want these to be. Okay. So our order, 1, 3, 2 is our order now. Okay. And that's all we have to do. There's no save or anything. We're just dragging these around, in whatever order, 2, 3, 1. I'm just going to leave them like this. Okay. And now what we have to do is now when we show our post list, and however we're doing that, whether it's with a query loop block in the block editor, or whether it's with, if you're using a page builder like Beaver Builder and a post module, you have to set it for a specific thing. So let's go into our page here, edit the page. Let's get rid of the Rickroll. Okay. Now I'm going to do a query loop. Or actually, I could just do post. Doesn't either way. We'll just do a post loop. Posts. This is the cadence block. You could do any block. But okay, so here, we first want to set it to summary so we get the right things. And what we have to make sure that we do here is set this to the menu order. 2, 3, 1. Look at that. 2, 3, 1. So let's update this. And let's say something happens and we want 3 to be at the beginning. Now it's at the top. And if I refresh, 3 is now the first one. Isn't that cool? Nice, right? Easy. You do have to set it for, now there's a couple of options. It might be menu order or selection order. Either one of those should work. Some UIs are going to have one or the other. And so either one of those are going to work. Menu order or selection order will cause this drag and drop thing to echo out on the front end. So pretty cool stuff. Let me show you this now with, let's remove this block. Now I need to do this. Oh, you know what? To get Beaver Builder to work on this, because I do want to show this in a page builder, I'm going to have to go into the post list and look at it there. And now, of course, things are slow. There we go. Okay. Pages. Good grief. Did I just trash that page? Some days. All right. Who saw what I just did? Did I screw something up? I don't know what I just did to lose my page. Oh, dear. Okay. We'll just add a new page, shall we? All right. Oh, wait. I know. Beaver Builder isn't active. Before one uses a plugin, one must activate the plugin. Oh my. Okay. Now, everything is slow suddenly. I bet my kids started streaming. I'm going to guess that's what happened. All right. Published Beaver Builder. So here's how this would work in a page builder. If we grab our post module, very similar. We're going to grab, let's see, summaries, right? Order by menu order or selection order. Both of these work just fine. So in this case, we'll just do selection order, and there it is, 3. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Let's make it 3, 1, 2. 3, 1, 2. There it is. Pretty cool, right? WooCommerce example, they ask. Okay, so let's go into products. And there's our products. And let's just make sure Geeky T-shirts is at the top. And if I go right into here, and we change this to products as our post type, still keeping with selection order, Geeky T-shirts right at the top. If we want to make downloadable kittens at the top, we just drag it up there. Boom. Just like that. Now, this is not going to work on the default. Actually, you know what it did? Look at that. Even in the shop page, let's make sure of that. I didn't think that would work. No, it does. Oh, right on the shop page, the default shop page, it's affecting that. Let me see what I'm doing. And this is the regular WooCommerce shop page. It's affecting the default layout. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So that is easy posts order. Nifty, right? So this is one of those plugins that has fewer than 10 installs, was only added 3 weeks ago. There's others out there that do something similar, by the way. But yeah, there you go. For anybody that's worried about, oh, it's got less than 10 installs, that's oftentimes a good indicator of it's not very valuable. But yeah, this is pretty cool stuff. And there are other plugins that change the sort order like this. Sally, does it work with all page builders? I mean, all is a big word, right? But if in your page builder, you have, like we just showed, the ability to sort by and then select menu order or selection order. It should work. Because what this is doing, there's actually a post meta field on each of these posts that is the menu order or selection order. And it's just updating that in the background. So, and that's what it's pulling from to sort rather than the date or the title or whatever. Does that make sense? It should, asterisk, work with every page builder, if your page builder gives you that sorting option. Okie dokie. Anybody else on this one? All right. Next one up is the TikTok plugin. We're getting really short on time today. So there's really not a lot I can show you here because I am not a TikToker. Can you believe it? I am not a TikToker. And anyway, but TikTok is one of the most downloaded app, et cetera, et cetera. It is a great way to sell things as well. Lots of product is happening. It's moving on TikTok. And this is a plugin that is co-developed by TikTok, WooCommerce, and Automatic. They are the three authors of this plugin. There's a lot behind this. It's very compatible. And what this does is it brings TikTok into the back end of WooCommerce and allows you to set up ads on TikTok within WooCommerce. So it's super cool. I'm not going to go through all of the things for this just for the sake of time, and also because I don't have a TikTok account, nor did I want to create one. We activate because the world is slow for some reason. Goodness. Okay, so it's under this took me forever to find, by the way. It's under marketing and TikTok, which makes sense, I guess. But okay, and then I just connect my account. Now, once I connect my account, I have the ability to do many things. There's lots of videos here. Like you can, right here, there's the ad builder where you can actually build your ad and then publish it right on YouTube from right within WooCommerce on the back end. So if you've got WooCommerce clients, or if you want to dip your toe into the arena of TikTok advertising for your product, if you have a product that would go well on that platform, then this is a great plugin you ought to experiment with. I've done nothing else other than activate it, search for the settings, and then stop because I didn't want to create an account. There you go. All right. So that is the TikTok official TikTok plugin by TikTok, WooCommerce, and Automatic. Last but certainly not least, well, just the other day, we had people asking about dark mode. Remember that? Was it in the Cadence webinar? Yes. Okay. So I happened to find a dark mode plugin that I think y'all will enjoy if you like the dark modes. So let us go into the plugins and activate the plugin. And it is what's it called? WP dark mode. I think that one didn't get installed. So let us do that. For anybody that's wondering, this is how you add a plugin to WordPress. Okay. All right. There it is. Install. And wait. Everything is slow right now. Activate. So this one's super cool. Okay. I've done nothing other than activate this plugin. And I'm going to refresh. Look, there's a dark mode icon. I haven't done anything but activate the plugin. That's it. It knows. It's just ninja magic has occurred, and now my site is in dark mode. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty cool. Also, on the back end, we'll turn that on. And it's actually a really nice dark mode. Probably the nicest WordPress dark mode I've seen in the admin area. Some of them are really awful. Neat, right? Yes, so front end and back end, correct. And you can toggle with, a toggle right here. Light mode, dark mode, light mode, dark mode. So dark mode is made if you work with the lights out. Like if you work at night and the lights are down, this is actually really saves eye strain. It's really helpful. Like if you try this in a darker room, yeah, it's really, and developers love dark mode. Like it right now at iThemes headquarters in Edmond, Oklahoma, in the developer area, in the support area, the lights are off. There are a few little lights, but it is a fairly dimly lit room, and developers like to work with the lights down. They just do. Yeah. So dark mode, there it is. Many comments. Okay. Any questions or comments about that one? That is for those of you that were looking for a dark mode. There you go. Dark mode, WP Dark Mode by WP Pool. And WP Pool we've done a number of plugins from them. They had like a Google Sheets plugin we did that we really liked. So it's a good development shop, which, I mean, obviously this is nicely done. So any final questions or comments on that one? Then let us scroll to the top and ask the question that we always end with, which is, what was your favorite plugin in the Roundup? One vote only, please. Wow. Okay. Admin, many votes for easy post order. Many votes. Blockplayer is a second. Dark mode, a second. Yeah, easy post order for the win. We'll keep it open a few more seconds here. Your vote, one vote only, please. Yeah, definitely easy post order. And then with a dark mode and Blockplayer as runner-ups. Okay, so your vote will be reflected tomorrow on the Best of iThemes Training Plugin Roundup for January through June of 2022. If you have not already registered for this one, there is the link in the chat to register for tomorrow's webinar. That's 1 o'clock Central Time, wherein we will take all of the top votes from the last 6 months of plugin roundups and put those together in a best of list. It always seems like the comment is, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That was such a great plugin. That always happens on these. So make sure you join us tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central, same time, same place, for the Best of Plugin Roundup. And with that, we will wrap it up for today. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 1 o'clock on iThemes Training, where we go further together.